I did some shopping. I went on eBay, typed in C5 Corvette muffler, sorted by price, low to high of course, and for 300 bucks, this is what showed up. Also grabbed an X pipe because today we're going to be installing these in my 99 Corvette. It's got a Texas speed cam, long tube headers, cat delete, X pipe, and no mufflers. So it's kind of loud. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome, sounds great. What? Sometimes it's a little too loud and gets too much attention. I'm hoping with this we can just dial it back a little bit. Plan is go from this to that. Now real quick, stock. You got exhaust manifold, you got cats. You got an H pipe. You see the H? And you got mufflers. And that's all 2.5 inch piping. That's what it looks like stock. Here's how we're running it right now. This is exactly how it's set up. Long tube headers into some 45s to a long X pipe. See the X? Goes down into some more straight pipes. No mufflers, nothing. And it just flows right on out. So no restriction whatsoever, and that's 3 inch. And here's what we're going for. Keeping the headers. We're probably gonna keep these 45s right here, and then I got some reducers to put right here, then some other straight pipes. I got like a whole exhaust stainless kit thing off eBay, so that should work really nice. Into an X pipe, that X pipe, and then into the mufflers that I showed you. Now the only thing, the X pipe that's in the car right now, it looks like an X, like it's definitely an X pipe. Where this one that I bought kind of looks somewhere between an X and an H. So it's definitely going to change the sound of the car. I actually have no idea what to expect because we're going from 3 inch to 2.5 inch, and the H pipe, X pipe thing is a different shape completely. So let's get the car up in the air. The car is so low that not even the low profile jack fits underneath the front. So we got to back it up on ramps first. Oh no. Still got one more bump, I think. Stop. And since I only have one low profile jack, gotta lift the back up, put it on blocks so we can fit this thick jack under there. Let her down. Now we can get old red in there. All right, car's up in the air. We're gonna head underneath, get the old exhaust system out of there, starting with the axle back. My prediction, it's not gonna be that bad. I only got a couple sockets and one wrench that we're gonna need, and everything's just clamped together because I was through this exhaust system already when I put in the speed engineering kit. So we'll probably have to break out the cutting wheel at some point, but we'll get there. Let's head underneath. So this is where the X pipe comes into the axle back. So we're looking at the back of the car right now. Oh yeah. Okay, take off these El Cheapo clamps and that should free up the cat back. Well, that's still good, brother. Now if we have to, we can unbolt the hanger. Might go ahead and do that. Now if you look real close like, you can see where them hanger bolts are. Just a straight pipe. No muffler, no nothing. Why do I remember dropping the sway bar when I did this? I ripped out the 2 sway bar bolts on each side real quick. So let's see if that helps. Sure enough. Cool. All right. Now that the axle back's out, all we have to do is drop the X pipe. We're gonna keep the 45s here. So we're just gonna take off these 2 clamps and then the factory clamp right here in front of the transmission. Well, that one came off. Now for the factory spring hanger. X-pipe should be completely free, so let's see. Got it. All the old stuff is out. I laid out the new stuff, how it's gonna be. New mufflers over the axle, new X-pipe, and then pieces of straight pipe. We're gonna have to cut them to length to work. And then the reducers to go from the 3-inch off them 45s to the 2.5-inch of the straight pipe. Let's look at these X-pipes side by side so you kind of see what I was talking about. You can really see how that one's an X, right? But then you look at this one and it just kind of comes in a little bit. So this one looks more like an H, in my opinion. I don't know. So our straight pipe is gonna be approximately the difference between these two. I don't know, about a foot or so. Now that all this is off, before we get started, you already know what we gotta do, okay? You see that? That is opportunity. You just hang on. All right, got that out of my system. Let's get to work. Put the X-pipe in first, I reckon, because that's about the only thing that mounts to a factory location. Somehow get a bolt started. Yeah, we don't need much at all of that straight pipe. And this has some flexibility because of them spring hangers, so that's good. So I guess the next thing I'll do is get the axle back in, and then we can set the tips and tighten everything down, and then take a measurement of what we need. Yeah, that sounds pretty sophisticated. Coming in hot. That looks kind of right? I'm gonna be a diamond someday. Okay. Got them pretty snug. Now typically, when you sort your parts from price low to high, you're not really paying for high quality engineering, put it that way. But I will say, those look pretty much where they're supposed to be. Now they'll probably end up being up here, more like that. I'm gonna put the sway bar back on real quick. This is the part where we don't forget the hose clamp. There we go. Kind of get this in place. So far so good. Doesn't look too bad. Do this side. Got both sides in. I'm actually pretty happy because the alignment is better than average for a C5, and nothing's technically tight yet, and they're pretty solid. I put the reducers on a while. Now, all we need to do is take a measurement from here to here. 1 foot on the dot. Got him. Just load all the clamps on the one side. Now the interesting part. We gotta think of something. Maybe I should have done this first, or just pull it down. That might work. There we go. Cool. Now that those are in, we'll try and do some tip alignment, and then we'll tighten everything. I'm happy with this one, so I'm not gonna touch it. But this one I'd like to be up a little bit more, so I'm gonna put it under a jack stand. That looks pretty good. Let's tighten everything down. See if it holds. Last thing to do is tighten up the muffler. Now that everything's tight, we'll see if that did the job. I have my doubts. It's not the worst tip alignment I've seen on a C5. No, it's not.
The right ones are way lower.
I know, not way lower, just a little bit. All right, let's start this hog. Not gonna lie, a little bit nervous. Let's just do it. Not bad. Let's rev it up a little bit. Still gets it. Can you rev it for me? Let's see if it rattles when we shut it off. Ooh, minimal rattle. What do you think?
I like it. I want to drive it.
Real quick, before we put the car on the ground, try and pry on some stuff in the name of tip alignment. Because see, when I pry this outward, the tip moves up like it should. We'll call that good enough for now. We'll get the car on the ground and then pull it outside, see what it sounds like ripping around, do the before and afters. I'm pretty happy with it though. testing. Make sure we're still fit for duty. Shop. Boop. Oh yeah! Crazy. So different. Still sounds great though. I don't know. It feels a little bit slower. I don't know. It's probably because it's just quiet. It still throws you in your seat though. I will say, it's nice when you put the window up and you can actually hear your thoughts. All right, last test. You know where we're at. You already know. I think we'll be all right, fellas. We're back. A little shaky on that one. It's the next day now. The car's been sitting overnight. We'll hit it with a cold start. See what that sounds like. Ignition. I am definitely gonna have to do something about them exhaust tips. They are pretty bad. Shut her down. Unacceptable. I think I'm gonna end up just having to bend the tab on the muffler itself to try and raise that one. The driver's side one is fine, it just bounces around too much. Now let's talk about something a little bit obvious. I know, you know, I know you know, and you know that I know that the straight pipe exhaust sounds a lot better. No mufflers, 3-inch piping. It sounds great, it sounds awesome. It does sound better than this, but it needed to be done. It needed something quieter, more streetable. At the end of the day, it's not a race car, it's a street car. I am overall very happy with how the cheap exhaust system turned out for 300 bucks, well 400 bucks with the X-Pipe. Not too shabby, it sounds pretty good still. You can still hear that V8, you can still hear the cam chopping at idle. I'm happy with it. This was definitely fun while it lasted and I don't regret it, but this is gonna be much more reasonable for everyday driving. That will wrap it up for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about that exhaust. Take it easy, I'll see you in the next one.